He's going to do just fine.
It's like sunrise. It's going to happen eventually, okay? Eventually there will be light that goes towards the bottom side of the rift. And the best way to shut it down is if you can cut off that bottom half. Make it so that Blaze and Chili have the worst time possible on the rift, and that when eventually Shine and Caspial get down into bottom lane with Carino, there's too much of a disadvantage that they can't swing the gold in their favor, and that's when players like Colin Feet Sec can get back into the game, climb their way back out of a pit that was created by Shine and Caspial. And some teams have tried to neutralize that top lane threat. It has worked in the past in terms of neutralizing, but when we see that, very little attention is paid towards bottom lane, and still Shine and Caspial find a way to get down there and swing it back in their favor. So I really want to see if Detonator can use their early game to disrupt Blaze and Chili in the bot lane.
Oh, already blazing through our first round of bans. Nico, Kennen directed up toward that top side, being banned out away from Colden. We see the Aatrox and Karma on the red side banned, so nothing too out of the ordinary. But a first pick, Ezreal, coming out here for Blaze on the side of Axis. Going to be responded with the immediate Corki pickup here by Detonator.
Yeah, heavy priority on the very safe Ezreal pick. It is very strong in the current meta. So sounds like Chili's just going to go towards something very defensive. They're up against a Sivir already, as you can see from Detonator's pick. So they know what they're up against. They know that they're going to be pushed back in underneath this turret after a period of time. So I think the Shine are just setting up their bottom side of the map picks first, so that they can hold on to what Shine and Caspial will pick up later in the draft.
We'll be seeing more Shurima coming in on to the Rift for Game 1. The Azir getting locked in here for Carino, like you mentioned. Control Mage in the mid lane. Happy to pick that one up into the Corki. It's a Corki Azir meta anyway. And gonna also add on the Braum to put up the good old shield down in bot lane.
The only problem with this is now the axes are shown. Okay, we're picking bottom side of the map first. We're going to match you Control Mage for Control Mage in the mid lane. Now Detonator have the advantage when it comes to their pick priority. They get last pick. So Shine can't get a last minute counter. We can't see a last minute jungle swap coming out from Caspial. We'll probably, see Detonator pick up a jungler first here. It'd be something like Sejuani. And then they would go towards their last pick top lane to try and find something that will go toe-to-toe against Shine's pick. Now again, very difficult. Shine has showed even in bad matchups for himself, he knows how to play around it. So Detonator have to be very careful with their last pick here, and I expect the jungle pick to come out first.
Yeah, you mentioned Sejuani was already banned actually during the first ban phase, so they're going to opt in for the Karthus.
Why? Just why?
And we saw Karthus yesterday.
No,
it didn't make us too happy.
Look at your roster, Detonator.
Boy.
You've got Squishy 1, Squishy 2, Squishy 3.0, and then Karthus. Not a very good matchup to go up against a very tanky squad that Axis can put out with Braum and Renekton picked up and high damage coming up from Elise. Woo!
Yeah. Caspial's going to be living in that jungle. We'll see what Detonator wants to try and round out this composition with. It's a bit of all over the place here, to be honest. You got a lot of poke. You got, a Karthus. You got the Yumis. You got the Zoomies. But it feels like the objective here from Detonator is now not too clear with this jungle pickup.
I'm trying to find words for what they're trying to do here.
No, all the ultimates just don't synergize together. Like, you're going to pick off what? You do have the Camille ult, so you'll lock down the Ezreal or Azir. Awesome, but there's still, you have Shine that's going to be on this Renekton, and we know Shine likes to play aggressive. He likes to pick up that damage.
At most, this is a mobility pick comp. I don't see anything else. Like, you can lock someone down with Camille, like you mentioned, and Sivir will run everyone into the team with, with the cat trying to lock people down too. But that's all I can really see. Axis a lot more focused. You've got a really good team fighting from everyone but your jungler. And Caspial can use the advantage at least has in the early game to not only disrupt Sec's jungle path, but also provide ganking and pick potential in the early game.
Well, we're going to go ahead and load on into the Rift for Game 1. Axis looking to go 2-0 as far as matches go here in Week 2. Load up into the Rift. Saw G2's logo just to add in salt into the wounds for the North American crowd. So now I
you
think,
lost North America.
Now that I think about it, I could probably change that. We could make that like a C-Tour icon.
Oh boy. No. No.
No.
Ezreal just got 100 gold from that, by the way. So first blood access.
Easy money.
Seed and scored 2.6k. Very well done. Kleptomancy OP. That's just a quick call to spot out if anything's going to come out from Axis. I don't quite understand what Detonator are trying to do with this team composition. I mean, late game, they're going to look pretty good. Late game, you have high damage coming out from Siva, high damage coming out from Corki, and high damage coming out from Karthus. But they're all very squishy champions with good crowd control on the side of Axis. So late game team fights, I would still give in favor of Axis here. And then in the mid game and the early game, I'm still looking at Axis because they still have all the strong points of this map. Very solid bottom lane duo, they're going to be very safe. Control mage in the mid lane, that's going to be very safe against Corki, and Azir does push in early against Corki. And then a better topside Renekton Elise duo against a Camille Karthus duo. Axis are going to play the exact way Axis like to play. They're going to get Caspiel towards top side of map. He's already clearing his bottom half of the jungle first. And they're going to play around Shine on this Renekton and try and disrupt Sek as well as Colin Feet and eventually bring that towards the bottom side of the map. Whereas for Detonator, I think their best bet here is to farm up, play around that first Corki package, and hope that a good team fight goes for them in the mid game. Because in the mid game, that's where the power spike of, Corki comes in, Karthus will have ultimate, package will be available, and Colin Feet will be online, and maybe they can get a nice snowball lead from that. But it's just another day in the C-Tour where I see this Karthus pick, and I just don't understand why.
We'll see here. We see Sek now up toward his red buff, clearing that one out. Shine is pushing in a little bit toward the top side, so that will bounce back off the tower of Colden.
And a lot of people think that this is a Renekton strong matchup. It's okay for Renekton, but Colden Feet does have the advantage very early on. Shine has to hold on to 100 Fury. If not, Colin Feet can dish out some good damage over towards this Renekton. But if he holds on to 100 Fury, it means he can still get his Q off first and eventually take away the armor shield that Colin Feet will get once he's able to get that single auto attack on towards Renekton. But you can see now, 100 Fury gone, Colin Feet can go aggressive.
Yeah, Colden already jumping in. We have the Elise coming up, and that's going to be the engage coming out from Shine. Gets the stun down. Zek over around the corner. Caspiel's going to spot him out, though. That's going to force the flash. The repel's going to come on down. The bite should be there. Caspiel getting first blood here in game one and should be able to exit cleanly out of the jungle.
And they're going to try and dive Colden Feet as well. Look at this. They're posturing for it.
That's going to be the stun. Shine, and it's going to be tanked up here by Caspiel as long as possible. Shine underneath is able to find the kill. Here comes Arch, though, from the mid lane on this Corki. Has flash available. Caspiel already used it. Oh, is he actually going to try this? He's going to try this? Arch, what are you doing? Another repel! One more auto will do it, and Caspiel's able to find the kill.
And just like that, Axis have already opened up the game the exact way we said Axis will open up the game. And again, this Karthus pick doesn't make any sense. Colden Feet was getting some good trades against Shine because before level 6, Camille does have an okay time against Renekton. Her trade patterns are much better than Renekton's in this exact lane. And you could see Shine, he was trying to get the stun down, but Colden Feet is much faster. He has the armor shield available for himself as well. He's got some good sustain with the low sweep and high damage with the reset on his auto attack. Good for the Camille, and that trade was going in his favor. But you can see, Elise in the jungle is just too powerful. Able to 100-0 Sek during that fight. A very crisp and clean dive coming out from Caspiel as well, Shine as well. That was beautifully executed coming out from the Shine roster. And I like what Archie was trying to do. I like that he was trying to rotate up, but as soon as Elise got her full spell combo back up and online, there's nothing you could do there. They are just way too strong. And even though Detonator's bot lane is doing exactly what they should do, push in the Ezreal Braum combo, take as much turret plating as possible, it's not going to be effective anymore because now they're just going to sit back and say, you can have a 15 CS lead, you can have a 3 turret plate lead, but when it comes to 10-15 minutes, my Crocodile and Spider are going to be in the bottom lane with a big golden chicken, and you're just dead. It's going to be a farm in the bot lane with 2 Zookeepers chasing you around, and it's going to be lights out desert.
You see Carino here, not a whole lot of mana. Was able to pick up some CS, but still pretty even here for Arch, even though he went down early. Did pick up the call immediately, so a little bit awkward back timing because he ended up dying, so didn't have enough for the Sheen. Caspel positioning himself up toward this top lane once again, but is on top of a ward, so...
Even though he's on top of ward, there's nothing that Detonator can do about Elise being here. Because even if Karthus shows up, we've already seen what happens in the 2-on-2. They just straight lose. So Golden Feet has to play passive. It is a good ward that keeps him safe, but look at how Shine's manipulated this lane. He's saying, you know what, Golden Feet, you want to get CS? Keep pushing it towards my turret. And even cannon minions being denied, multiple CS being denied. Shine, it's just happy days for him right now. He's got a 43 CS lead with a wave that's small. Sorry, 43 CS to 25 CS lead with a wave that's smaller than Detonator's wave crashing in.
Caspel coming back up here toward the top lane. Colden does have level 6, so has the ultimatum. Still though, going to back off, realizing now that there's a ward here in this brush, obviously. Putting down the control ward himself, and Caspel not able to clear that one out, but no matter. Has the information, and that is all that's going to matter here, as Sek is going to be forced to just go back into this jungle and have to continue to farm up here.
It's a very good ward coming out from Golden Feet. It means that Caspel can't stick around and try and get anything going, but he's done his job. Golden Feet can't touch this wave. He can't fight. So Shine's controlled this top lane beautifully. And Caspel doesn't lose too much. Red side jungle just respawns. He goes back to base. He's going to be able to pick up all those jungle camps. The only thing that's going well for Detonator so far is still this bottom lane. Again, that's just a ticking time bomb. Eventually, we'll see Axis try and work their way down bot lane. Hopefully, Detonator will be able to respond to that in one way or another.
Yeah, as you mentioned, really the only lane going in favor here of Detonator naturally is going to be this Sivir Yuumi lane. Currently having the majority of their CS advantage when it comes across the map. Big one, though, starting to form here in the top lane. It's already double here for Shine, and he's already positioning himself aggressively in the minion wave. They're just going to keep climbing as the CS totals keep climbing.
And you can see, even with the item advantage, I mean, Golden Feet still trading very effectively against Shine. This is not a horrible matchup for Camille. He's playing it well, but he's still behind because he can't venture too far out. If Elise is close by, that's another kill top lane. No flash available for Golden Feet at the moment. And Shine does have the ultimate available, so if he does go into a strict one-on-one, Golden Feet will lose out to Conqueror as well as Renekton's ultimate. His ultimate doesn't do too much for him in this one-on-one fight. The only benefit he'll have is Karthus does have his ultimate available now.
Ultimate is available. Not a whole lot of mana just yet, but still is going to get that back up. And here we go. That's going to be the trigger pull down in bot lane. Chili does not have level 6. Boomerang coming out, and Rich going to be the one securing the kill on the Yuumi as Detonator finally find themselves their first blood in this game.
Yeah, well played coming out from Detonator's bot lane. This is what they need to do to try and open it up. You need to attack this bottom lane. No one's going to apply any pressure anytime soon. They're really waiting for Shine's teleport to come back up, so take as many turret platings as possible. Try and get these quick kills, which they just did, and open up the bottom lane. If top side's going to be so lopsided, they need bottom side to be equally lopsided in Detonator's favor.
Ezreal didn't go down there. That's going to be also the blue buff brought over to Karina. He's going to get his first one of the game as Caspel looks to position again toward the top lane, possibly. No wards in the brush.
Yeah, no wards outside of the tri-brush, only the one close towards his turret, so difficult to spot out this Elise.
Oh, there it is. Use the slingshot there, and oh, it gets him between the minions, and Shine's going to pick up an easy kill. Zek, oh, we've seen this one before.
As soon as that wall goes down and the minion wave crashes, Shine has access to him, so he's got to be careful here, Sek.
Echoes does get a little bit of damage there off the Spiderling, so Sek gonna end up using his ultimate because down in bot lane, Blaze is just a little bit too low and they almost take out Chili as well.
Well played. Detonator are attacking this bottom lane, but in a very creative way. They've got the matchup at top lane. Shine's going in.
We saw this happen. Ends up using the ultimate, sticks around, so it is going to be back a trade at least in the end, and they get themselves a little bit more turret plating here in the top lane.
And again, it's top lane versus bot lane right now, but it's a 54 CS lead for Renekton against a 20 CS lead Sivir, but they have worked on this bottom lane outer turret, so that should fall with a couple more pushes coming out from Detonator. The Sivir Yuumi combo is getting some work done on towards Axis Empire's bottom lane.
Well, look at that. That's a 10-minute Black Cleaver finish for your Renekton now. Very far ahead. Golden Feet's going to have a really rough time now to even step up close in that lane. Considering the tower hasn't been even falling at this point, Shine's just going to rinse and repeat. So, Two stories happening on the map. Top lane in favor of Axis, bot lane going in favor of Detonator.
The top lane advantage is just too big right
Yeah.
now for Axis.
Like, you can get Ninja Tabbies here for Colin Feed, but it's not going to do a whole lot for you.
Ninja Tabby to Black Cleaver are not the best of trades. Shine even has a red buff for himself after taking
Oh,
away from
jeez.
Sec, so Colin Feed's just stuck. Still, it's only less than 1,000 gold of an advantage to Axis, and that would definitely be coming from the turret platings that we saw Sivir pick up.
Rift Herald is going to be started up here. There is a ward in the back of the pits, so Detonator do know this is happening. We'll see if Zek wants to come over.
That's a top side neutral objective, though. They can't fight for this.
Yeah.
Detonator would need their bottom lane to be close by. Their best bet's trying to fight around a dragon.
There's also Braum up here as well. Chili's making sure for sure they're actually getting this.
His bottom lane turret's dead. That's
Yeah.
going to go down with a single push, so it doesn't make sense they throw all their eggs in the bot lane basket. Instead, rotate players away from that bottom lane. Say, Ezreal, too bad, suck it up. You're going to have to farm, jungle minions, going to have to sit back in between turrets. We're going to focus all our attention towards top side of the map to try and create balance on the Rift.
Zek going to go ahead and pick up the Cloud Drake. Bot lane was taken. So first tower is going to go over in favor of Detonator, and that does bring the gold pretty even, but there is a turret answered up and toward top lane here, so Axis are able to find that themselves, and now Shine can, like you mentioned now at this point, can start making visits elsewhere on the map. Cracked open that top lane tower, can look to be a menace now in that mid lane possibly, or even toward the bottom.
And that's what we should see. We should eventually see Ezreal being parked in the mid lane. Shine might rotate down to the bottom side of the map, but he's pretty comfortable playing up and aggressive. Hasn't gone back to base just yet. And this is nice from Detonator, rotating around the two players that have decent wave clear to clear up the mid lane. Now they could try and trap players from Axis inside this red side jungle.
Here's the pings. Caspel has the control ward, realizes might be in danger and gets tagged by the rocket. Caspel shows himself with the cocoon, and really at this point, trying to waste time, it would seem. K-Star also using it. Caspel can flash over. No, doesn't have it. It's on cooldown, so that's going to be a shutdown picked up here onto the Sivir for Detonator.
Yeah, nice trap coming up from Detonator. Don't even lose anything from it because Detonator did push out that mid lane first. So killing Caspiel there, they get the shutdown goal. They've made it almost dead even between these two teams. But I just want to question, is that even going to be enough for them? Because, again, you come towards this mid-game, late-game stage of the match. Sure, Detonator have the damage, but they've got nobody who can soak up any of the damage coming in from the side of Axis.
And we see Shine now heading down toward the bot lane, so wants to try and chip away at that tower. Turret plating is going to fall here in 30 seconds. Don't think he'll be able to push the wave in completely to pick up any more of that gold, but that tower is going to get shredded down. He's got Tiamat completed alongside that Black Cleaver. We see Blaze also now picking up his Sheen after starting the stack for the Miramana. And Trinity Force should be coming online here shortly for the Corki for Arch. So we're starting to see a little bit of some spikes coming in favor of Detonator, but yeah, I have to really now play around this Sivir.
Yeah. Sivir looking for that Essence Reaver Infinity Edge combo, which will come up shortly. And Sek still power farming through this jungle. So Karthus is becoming a slight threat, especially when he gets rank 2 on his ultimate. It's going to increase the damage significantly. See Axis are setting up for a play towards the bottom side of the map.
Turret plate's going to be even, it seems. 800 gold apiece. Majority of that, though, went on to both either the top lane Renekton or the Yuumi Sivir combo in bot lane. And we see them now pushing in here toward mid lane as Axis. They're looking for a possible dive here onto Colden. Caspel is sticking around. Control ward from both sides, and Shine is going to be able to push that in just fine. So that should be the first tier tower in bot lane being taken here by Axis. As Detonator, it doesn't look like they're able to push in completely, but they do have the Corki up in top lane starting to get some chip damage.
Axis are going to be the first ones to break another turret, but you'd expect Detonator to be able to respond shortly. Mid lane's already taken a beating. We've already seen that K-Star as well as Rich can take on Chili as well as Blaze. He's in the game.
Oh, there's Zek over toward the side. You're going to have the Fisher come out from Chili, and he's going to get taken down. K's underneath the tower. Will trade back a kill, and Zek actually took a lot of damage. Requiem, though, going to come down, and oh no, the kill goes over to the Yuumi in the end. A little unfortunate there.
2-for-1 trade in favor of Detonator, really pushing their advantage in that mid lane fight. But during this time, bottom lane inner turret's just taken away. Renekton just sneaks in with Elise, say, you know what, you can take our players, but we're just going to take your structures.
You know, I was going to say maybe it wasn't good that Rich got that kill, but he is now running the Soul Stealer on the Yumi.
11 stacks now.
He's got 11 stacks. Tower goes down in top lane, so Detonator find their second one, but still 3 in favor of Axis as they were able to take that second-tier tower with Shine during that escapade in the mid lane.
And some item power spikes coming out from both sides. Siv's going to have that Infinity Edge soon. That'll be a big item to pick up. 2 items complete for Yuumi. It's going to be very nice to buff up the team with Detonator and deal a little bit of extra damage. Yuumi not very high on the damage side of things, so not going to matter too much when it comes to bursting down opponents.
Oh no, man, he's got that Soul Stealer. Pair that with the Rabadons? Come on, think about it.
Trinity Force is complete for the side of Corki as well as the Sorcerer Brutes. That's the 2 items you need to start off as Corki.
See Detonator get another push in. Blaze was trying to occupy the Wolf camp. Get some more CS for himself. Stinger also complete now for Carino, so that's a nice little spike coming in for the Azir.
You also see the Frozen Fist coming up shortly. Extra went back to base and picked that up immediately. Teleports back into lane as well. Doesn't want to risk any more damage on towards this turret.
Ooh, teleport.
Making a play for the Infernal Dragon. Kiruno's top lane will need to teleport in.
There we go. We got a teleport coming in
They
toward the side. Detonator, they got 5 members here. Chili advances forward. That's going to be the engage coming in from Colton, and Chili gets just taken down extremely low. Will be finished off here. Fisher is able to interrupt the team. Here comes Shine, though. He's a hungry top laner, but it's still only a 5v4. And in the end, Infernal Drake also gets secured here by Detonator.
It's a pure setup coming out from Detonator. That was beautiful there. The proactive teleport from Marchini to say, let's take Infernal now. The decision to split up the team and just burst down Chili as soon as he stepped forward. Very well set up by Detonator, using the raw damage that they have to make sure that Axis can't counter-engage and stop that Infernal Dragon being taken. They're now 1,000 gold ahead of Axis.
Oh, Blaze!
Blaze?
Unfortunately, Blaze, you're going to go on down there. Gets baited.
You know, I was wrong. The bottom lane advantage is stronger. Let's just say that. Because for some reason, Axis keep falling to this bottom lane duo.
Yeah, that bot lane now currently sitting at a 4-1-10 scoreline. So majority, if all the kills actually, 100% KDA from both of them. So they've always been a factor when it comes to these fights. And
Rich and K start playing this one very well.
Can't argue too much. And with that, Detonator find themselves, I believe, one of their first gold leads when it comes to the map. That's 1,500 up. Also very important that you get yourself that Infernal Drake earlier on in the game, especially on something like a Karthus that has been just power farming, is about to, actually did get rank 2 now ultimate. It has hit level 11.
This is the time for Detonator to strike because, like you said, rank 2 ultimate available for Karthus, 2 magic penetration items available as well. And they've got that Infernal Dragon. If they can find a quick pick on towards Axis or find a team fight that they start again, there's a high chance Axis won't be able to fight back, and that will open up a gold lead for themselves just as Baron starts to spawn too. And their team composition can take down Baron very fast. Their damage dealers all deal significant damage to it, so they'll be able to burst down and chunk out the Baron before Axis can even respond.
Meanwhile, though, this entire time, we've had Shine now in the bot lane, pushing in onto the inhibitor tower.
He's almost got 100 CS lead over Coltonby.
Kaze did actually pick up the Infinity Edge, like you mentioned. Also has a Brawler's Glove, so now sitting at about that 60% crit chance. So, like you mentioned, trying to get these team fights around these objectives would be very nice. Ooh, nice little cheeky secure there coming in from Carino, able to get that blue buff away from the Karthus.
And Carino's someone that hasn't been in amongst the action, so he's been missing from a lot of these heavy skirmishes, missing from the fights. He really needs to step up into these plays because we know what Carino can do on these control mages, but he hasn't set up for it just yet.
Carino
with the package.
Package is there, ends up using the Emperor's Divide. He's going to chase him on down. Requiem comes through. They trade 1 for 1 as he just jumps in onto the Elise that destroys him. Midline, though, is secured here by Detonators. They now tie up the turret number to 3.
Well, there was a chance for Chili to, say, jump on top of him, get that heal down as well as the extra reduced damage that Braum the Tiger gets when Braum jumps on him, but slight misplays there, taking way too much damage. Very nicely executed coming up from Detonator, though. Wow.
Oi, oi.
That's a chase.
Oi. Rich, calm down. Can use the spell book there. Oh, meanwhile, Shine now actually going for a fight. He's got to be occupied, though, with 3 members. Tries to flash away, but the Yumi Q does connect Shine, trying to turn it around. True Shot Barrage, not going to connect, and they take down Shine, and that was also a nice, juicy shutdown picked up here on the side of Detonator as they now find themselves at 2,200 gold advantage.
And they're starting to find these picks. I was wrong about Detonator's composition. It seems like the raw damage is enough for them in this early game. And despite the 100 CS deficit, Golden Feet has been able to hold on in these one-on-one fights against Shine, allowing the rest of his team to rotate in time. Now they're going to use this single kill advantage to try and sweep away some of the wards around that Baron pit.
Get down some control wards. Plenty of wards coming out from Axis to try and defend their jungle, but only some river wards.
I'm starting to see the problem with Axis composition is the only real engage they have is risky engage. Braum needs to get up close for the ultimate. Ezreal's not reliable from the Frozen Piss. Carino needs to get up close with his ultimate. And then Renekton needs to get up close to get the stun. So their forms of engage are all risky. The only one that's really reliable is Caspiel, but he's a very squishy pick jungler. So he has to pick someone off to get that engagement. We might find Archony.
Oh, Archony. Oh, that burst
Like
coming
that.
through.
Exactly like that. They need to find a pick like that in order to get any engage going. So the composition Detonator have, although in draft I said was poor, when they're even or ahead in this mid game and there's no reliable way for Axis to engage, it's not a bad composition for Detonator to try and fight out against Axis. But now they've got a man advantage and on top of Baron.
Gonna try for this here. We'll see Carino actually be part of this fight. That's going to be the spellbook over toward the side.
Whoa!
Away the Baron! Zek gets into the pit. He'll get taken down, but this Karthus is happy fighting. Requiem gonna come through. Gets through the shield, but not enough to do enough damage. But they are gonna continue on the chase. Oh! Golden Feet goes for a ride, and Chili's gonna be the one taken down. Kaze jumps over the wall, and it's disaster for Axis as they get 4 members eliminated.
What an absolute disaster for Axis. Detonator, turn on the heat. The steal, the Baron coming out from Sek, perfectly timed, and using the Karthus passive, using that zone to deal enough damage for a Requiem threat, forcing Axis to make risky decisions on their retreat and allowing the rest of Detonator to catch up in time. This was just very poor coming out from Axis. They should have waited for Sek to jump into the pit first before the smite steal, but look at Sek, just perfectly timed. Goes in with all the burst coming out from Detonator, secures it, forces stasis out of Caspiel, and says, you know what, I could die here. My Defile's going to be perfectly fine, laying waste to everyone on Axis. Because they went to try and keep Carino alive, split up, Chili's just caught out, and Golden Feet follows through. Well played coming out from Detonator.
And if you're Caspiel, you're going to be wanting that one back. Did not even have a chance to use the smite because it was stolen away by a Q. The isolated Q damage coming out from the Karthus was enough to actually get it because he didn't even smite.
Now he's got double needlessly large rod, and Detonator have a 5,000 gold lead. So forget that this composition's squishy. 25 Magi stacks on Rich is going to be quite difficult for Detonator for Axis to deal with. Chili's just dead.
Chili caught out. He's going to get rooted. One auto will come through, and that'll be enough to take the kill. Like you mentioned, 25 stacks on the Soul Stealer. You got a 100% crit chance now on your Sivir as well.
Caught out 5 times here, Chili, and all the same thing, just a little bit too far as Braum, not able to get back in time. Caspiel was just inside their base for some reason. But yeah, 100% crit chance on Sivir means that, yeah, you hit one person, everyone's getting a nice big fat crit.
On top of that, too, you now have the Rabadons completed for this Karthus on top of the additional Infernal Drake they got earlier. It's not looking too hot now for Axis and Shine. That's just a ward. I don't know if that's necessarily worth. Going to try and pop it over. It doesn't matter. Requiem's going to come out. You see Blaze gets taken down to 20%. Crit, not going to do enough there. But that is a dangerous threat now that this Requiem is pretty much online.
This game is over. Detonator are well and truly online. It's going to take a miracle for Axis and some form of engage, which they don't have with this composition. They're relying so heavily on the top side deficit that they forgot Detonator can make use of that bottom side. That's what I want to talk about. They got the top side deficit. Axis' next play is to transition that into the bottom lane, but they never were able to do that. Detonator disrupted them so heavily that there was never a point in time in this match where Axis could get the lead into the bottom lane. They could come back from the damage that K-Star and Rich dealt, and it's just created a wide open advantage for Detonator bot side. Caspiel's in trouble. Gone.
Just instantly deleted there. Detonator going to be able to pick up the mid lane inhibitor here in game 1 at 26 minutes. And Axis, yeah, I think the timer's up here at this point. It's concerning when the support Yuumi with the Soul Stealer can now half health the 80 carry. It's not good. On top of that, you're going to have Requiem coming back up at 90 seconds. Pretty much every time that's off cooldown. That's the go button. If they're with remotely close, and they will be able to catch them, you have the on the hunt. You got the spellbook from the Yuumi. It's just not looking good here, and I don't think there's any option. You can see Blaze is just getting chunked out from afar. Rich able to get that quick route. They do take down the Camille, but meanwhile, that inhibitor in bot lane is now cracked open.
Yeah, they trade Camille for an inhibitor, which is not a bad trade, to be honest. Help on the back lines.
Shine? You think you can do this? He's trying. Let's see. Pops the ultimate, tries to jump in on the Karthus, but you see, he just gets melted apart by the damage coming out from Detonator.
Again, no reliable crowd control, no reliable way to engage onto Detonator's comp. I was completely wrong. When this comp is well and truly online, there's too much damage, especially when Axis don't have a reliable way to start these fights. They're just going to turn around and say, hey, how about damage? We just deal way more than you. You can't even tank through it anymore. Your tanks are actually useless.
And there's a lot of single target damage too coming out from Blaze, because with this build, you've gone into the Bork with the Iceborne. You saw that True Shot doesn't do a whole lot now at this point for those team fights. On top of that too, Karina wanted to go for a much more lane presence rune. He actually went for the Electrocute instead of seeing that lethal tempo we sometimes see out of Azir's now. So a lot of those team fight, alternatives that they could have with that Azir popping off in the late game, still a possibility, but you don't have necessarily the right tools for you.
He's really taken it for the early game just to try and go toe-to-toe against Archony in lane, but like you said, late game not as effective. Now with Baron coming back up and only one inhibitor turret left, it's a very simple siege here for Detonator. Just walk minions down top lane, transition towards Baron if it comes up, take the game.
And Sek at this point too, with his Defiles, he can pretty much take down that Baron rather quickly. It's not going to be pretty. That isolation damage, each one of those Skittles are doing about 1,000 apiece. So it's going to be very hard for Axis to be able to respond here. And, you see him. Caspel! See here, Shine on a flank, but again, there's the crit chance from this. If you got rapid fire cannon, you can see how fast this is going to go down. See, we got a True Shot Barrage. Decent amount of damage. That Baron debuff does do enough.
Try and fight.
They gotta try. They gotta do something. Sek is in the backside here. They do catch out on Archie over toward the side. Let's see though. Shine jumps into the pit. They get one. Are they going to be able to get many more? Because they're on top of a Karthus. Here comes the Requiem once again. Stopwatch, but unfortunately, your Braum isn't going to be long for this world, and the whole time you had
look
this
at the base! Look at the base!
It's just going to be Colden going for the back door. It's also a triple kill. Carino's going to try. Gets in with the Emperor's Divide. Colden just jumps in. Now K's, though, going to jump over, and he's a fed Sivir at this point. And just like that, Detonator going to go ahead, close out game 1. In a pretty dominating fashion.
They couldn't fight them at the Baron Pit, didn't have the resources and the tools to do so with their composition, which means if you don't get a clean fight there, suddenly your entire base is going to be torn apart coming out from Detonator. They did just that. I was wrong. I thought this was going to be a one-sided game to Axis from the draft phase. They showed me that during the mid-game, if they're able to get the leads bottom lane, which was their key to success, they have enough damage that Detonator don't have the crowd control and engage to lock them down before they can jump in with their tanks and their own damage. So well played by Detonator. They played that composition very well, and they played their lead from the bottom lane well too. I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't see Axis transfer all the gold they got topside towards the bottom lane, because they just kept getting Elise and Renekton ahead, which is not what they need. They needed they needed Ezreal to sustain, and they needed to shut down Sivir so she couldn't get towards that 100% crit mark so early on.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed too with Carino that game. I felt like he wasn't around too much during that. He didn't have opportunities, though, I think
No.
is the other thing.
I think that taking the Corki away from this, which is a little bit more mobile of a champion, or has that package available for himself too, can maneuver around the map a little bit easier, and he gets into fight straight away. Azir kind of has to set up, put some soldiers down, slide into the fight if he needs to. Less damage in the mid and early game too. I think taking the Corki away from this control mate matchup meant that if Karina doesn't go towards Victor, he has to pick up the Azir, and the Azir pick just wasn't really good in the mid game when they're being torn around the map.
Well, you can see this one, of course. This is the Baron steal. That
This
is
the game changer. This is Sek jumping in for the steal right there. My goodness. This is right when it was lights out for Axis. At this point, there was still a chance they could come back because that was a really good pick. They took down the top laner straight away. They forced the Baron. But when Baron was at 3,000 hit points, that's where Axis should have gone, we're not fighting this. Like, we're not going to engage. And the other thing I really want to heavily criticize, where's Shine? Shine should have been in that fight. And as much as I can say that Shine's been a huge improvement starting in the top lane, the one thing he doesn't bring that Kira used to bring is he's not there with the teleports, he's not there on time, not there for the setup. If Shine was there, he could have been tanking the Baron. He could have been in the backside of the pit trying to disrupt Carthage so he can't flash over. A lot of things went wrong at that Baron play, and as much as I want to say Detonator took it from the 20-minute mark before they got Baron, it really was the nail in the coffin when they secured that Baron.
Yeah, you can see pretty much on your gold graph. That's right at that drop-off point, starting around 22 minutes. MVP going to go on over to the kitty.
Yes!
Rich with the 19 KDA.
I would have given it to Sek just for the flashy steal, but I think Rich deserves it. That was beautiful Yuumi play coming out from the support.
He also had a fully stacked page, guys.
That's, no, he died once. He would have lost it somewhere.
I think he regained all those stacks back, to be honest.
Stupid
Would
cat.
shock me. 90% kill participation.
Got 20% damage share on a Yuumi.
Yeah. Oh, no, you saw those prowling projectiles. He half-health Blaze multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, that's ugly. That's not pretty. Well, it is pretty for Detonator, and that's good for them, too, because they are one of the Thai teams that came into Week 1 and weren't able to secure a victory, now bouncing back here in Week 2.
Against the finalists from the C-Tour, up against Axis Empire. So that's a huge confidence booster, and you'd have to think Axis Empire, they've got some things they really need to work out. Their Baron play was a little bit suspect. Shine not being there for a big point in the match as well, with its teleport available during that time, as well as not playing according to the game plan. Their setup was great. The dives top lane, the deficit they created against Golden Feet in a matchup where Camille doesn't do all that bad, it was great. But where was the transfer? Where was the let's go bottom lane and help out? And again, if you're going to pick your bottom side early to try and stabilize, Ezreal Braum just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's safe, but you're still getting picked off by a Yuumi Siva, so it doesn't seem like it's safe enough.
Yeah, like you're looking to scale up, and still you're looking for some poke. But for now, we're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, it's going to be game 2 of our first set.